Okay, today on the show, our guest is Jordan Cohen with Remax in Southern California. Let me tell you more about Jordan. Now, Jordan Cohen is, and this is an incredible guest for us, guys. So please pay attention to this bio here. This is really amazing. Jordan Cohen is the 6-time #1 Remax agent worldwide, closing over 314 million in sales annually. How big is this team, you might ask? It is a team of one. 314 million in sales annually, a team of one. Cohen specializes in luxury estates and has been recognized in many publications, including Unique Homes, Dream Homes International, DuPont Registry, and the LA Times. Because of his clientele of celebrities and professional athletes, he has been featured on ESPN. His listings have been profiled on Extra and Access Hollywood. Jordan has also represented more than 150 professional athletes, actors, entertainers, and Hollywood executives. And he is an author, and his newest book, The Agent's Edge: Secret Strategy to Make Your Fortune Selling Real Estate, is available now for everyone to purchase. And guys, if I was wanting to learn from the best, which of course this podcast is all about, I would buy Jordan's book. So let's all go buy Jordan's book, The Agent's Edge. We will have a link to that in the show notes. You can also buy Jordan's book directly by going to jordancohen.com. That's JordanCohen, just like it sounds, jordancohen.com, for all things Jordan. Also follow him on Instagram. His Instagram account is Jordan Cohen #1, or just one. So Jordan Cohen 1. We will have a link to all of that in the show notes. Jordan, welcome to the show.
Man, DJ, that was a hell of an introduction, man. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
You're a hell of a guest. We're excited to
Man,
have
I'm
you.
I'm very grateful and humbled that you said such kind stuff, man. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I,
Well,
I truly appreciate
thank you for making time for our show and our audience. We appreciate it. And you are known as sort of the guy at the top of the Remax mountain, but our audience is always interested in hearing how people climbed the mountain first. So I would be curious to know, how did you get into real estate? Was it something you always knew that you wanted to do, or was this like a career change? So love to hear that story.
Oh, okay. Sounds good, DJ. So, no, it was kind of the opposite of what I wanted to do because my parents had done it, but they kind of struggled. They were always kind of deal to deal when I was growing up, so it was kind of the opposite. But I was a terrible student. I graduated from college with a 2.05 GPA. I cheated my way through, and therefore, when I graduated, I didn't have any big corporations knocking down my door or anything like that. So the only thing I had going for me, I thought, was a good personality. So I knew I would go into some sort of sales. But in truth, I wanted to be an insurance guy because I wanted to be opposite of real estate. So I wanted to be insurance, but then there was a guy named Jim that worked out at the gym that I work out at, and he carried business cards in his socks. And when he walked around, everybody scattered away from him because he was Jim, the insurance guy.
Right.
So I said, I don't want to be that guy that just went up to people always trying to sell insurance. Not like there's anything wrong with insurance. We all need it, but I didn't want to be that guy people ran from. So basically what I did was I started a little business when I was in college called Property Promotions, where I did real estate advertising for my parents and for other realtors. So I met all the realtors in the San Fernando Valley where I'm from, and most of them kind of struggled, but there was a few that did well. And there was one guy that in those days, we're going back 33, 34 years ago. There was one guy that was the #1 guy, and he was making 400 grand a year. His broker told me that. That's more than NFL players made. I didn't know anybody can make that
Yeah.
kind of money.
Huge money.
So huge money. So I was like, oh shit, man, real estate isn't such a bad thing, man. So I went into real estate right after college. Once I learned that somebody could actually make that kind of money, I started in entry level housing. My average sales price was under 200,000 for the first 7 years of my career. It was 150, 200,000. I even did many deals under 100,000. And then after about 7 years, I got my first pro athlete. And he said, hey, man, he just signed with the Philadelphia 76ers. And he goes, hey, man, let's look in Westlake Village. Now, you got to remember, this was before the internet, DJ. So
Right.
I'd never even been to Westlake Village. I didn't even know where it was. And he goes, hey, I think there's some, $1 million guard gated communities. I go, oh man, there's some amazing guard gated communities. I had no idea, DJ. I didn't even know where Westlake was. So I
Yeah.
went out there. I quickly learned that there were some guard gated communities. I did that first deal with him, which was, I think it was around $1.5 million. And I got that lottery money. And I'd never seen a paycheck like that. But for me, the interesting thing was I met all the realtors that were selling these $1 million homes, DJ, and they were all very nice. But remember thinking, man, they're not any better than me just because they're selling $1 million homes and I'm selling $200,000 homes. I thought I could compete with them, so I did that deal. I packed up my shit. I told my wife, we were just married. I've been married for 30 years. I said, man, if these people can sell $1 million homes, I think I could do it too. So I packed
Yeah,
up, started all over.
it is interesting. I remember I talked to a guy from Texas one time on our show years and years ago, and he started out selling $300,000 homes, and then he eventually got to a place where his average price point was 3 million. And I said, "What's the difference in selling a $3 million home and a $300,000 home?" He goes, "It's the exact same." It's the exact same thing. He goes, it's just a different clientele. And he goes, I realized that at some point in his career. Now maybe when you get into the higher echelon, properties, it is a different process. But for 300,000 to 3 million, he goes, I wish I wouldn't have. Not that there's anything wrong with, of course, providing service to $300,000 homes. Those are wonderful, and in your case, 100 to $200,000 homes and even less. But did you find that it was actually a similar amount of effort to sell the $1 million home to the athlete versus some of the smaller properties that you were doing?
It's actually easier because the
Wow.
sellers, it's not their first time around. So you don't have
Yeah.
to explain what liquidated damages and arbitration is. So it's actually easier to transact a multi-million dollar home. The harder thing is to actually win the listing. That's the
Yeah.
challenge because you're competing against great realtors. There's great realtors at all price points, make no mistake, but you're dealing with people that are just more financially stable. So they've done many deals. So that's more competitive. So it's difficult to get those listings. It's difficult to get those buyers. But the actual transaction is probably easier than it is
Yeah.
selling the entry level homes. To be
Yeah,
honest with
it's a really strong point. So the competition, of course, would be fierce for those listings. What are some of the techniques or the strategies that you would employ to separate yourself from other competitors that were also vying for those same deals?
Well, that's everything, DJ, and that's the bulk of my book. To be honest with you, I don't want to sound like a car salesman, but my book is there's like 7 chapters on that on listing presentation. So I'll tell you how I became passionate about that, and this is the truth. So when I started, my broker at the time told me to pick my geographical farm, which was in a city called Canoga Park, door knock,
Sure.
give away all the door magnets and notepads, and then hopefully you'll get some listing appointments as time goes on. So I did everything he told me to do, and then I actually got my first 2 listing interviews. And the difference is I went into those listings and basically did what I was told to do, which was talk about comps, price, and about my company. But I lost both those listings, and both
Hmm.
those listings would have paid me about 6 grand each, which would have doubled my net worth. It would have gotten me out of my bedroom, my parents' house, and it hit me at that moment. I'm like, shit, in that 1 hour, that hour and a half window, I got to get better. I got to win those listings. So I dedicated really my whole life at that point to never feeling uncomfortable again, never feeling, never. I wanted to have the most confidence I could in a listing interview, in a presentation. So I started to create language, went to a bunch of seminars to pick a line here and there, but mainly create my own language that would enable me to win. That's when my business took off. That's when I enjoyed calling expired listings. That's when I enjoyed pushing for those listing interviews because I felt I could beat anybody. I think the most important skill set a real estate agent can have is a dominant listing presentation because everybody talks so much about lead generation, but at the end of the day, 2 or 3 people are losing those lead opportunities, those listing opportunities. I like to I want to have as much I want every seller to have as much confidence in me as I have in myself that I'm the best realtor. And that all stems from a powerful listing presentation. So that's everything. So that's the tip I give every realtor. I say prepare, have your listing presentation, practice it, be confident in it, and truly believe you're the best realtor in that interview situation. Once you have that skill set, real estate becomes fun and it becomes a whole lot more profitable.
Yeah, I love that. It's the Boy Scout motto, always be prepared, right? It's this
Yeah.
idea of, it is interesting because listing presentations, you'll talk to some agents who go, I show up with a legal pad with nothing written on it, and I go in blind, right? Some people go in with literally no presentation. They go in to take notes, and that's one approach. And then you have on the extreme other end, a multimedia sort of presentation with slides and various devices. And it's interesting, everyone does it a bit differently. What are your take on the characteristics of a good listing presentation? Like, what are some of the things that have to be there? And by the way, let's just first address the question, the idea of going in with a blank legal pad and saying to a seller, all right, let's talk. That being a listing presentation, what's your response to people who do that?
Well, first of all, I was trained when I first started in real estate to just talk about price and about the company. So that's the reason why, I'm very fortunate and humbled to say that I win many more times than I lose, because most realtors go in unprepared like that. So for me, it's about saying and how you say the same thing that we all do. How do you describe? How do you get people excited about photography? How do you get people excited about just listings? How do you get people excited about social media? I call it like my tools, right? My tools in my toolbox. It's everybody's going to say we put your home on Instagram, but it's how you explain that to a seller in a powerful way, not about how many followers you have, but the benefits of that to that seller. Every seller, they don't care so much about what you've done in the past. They care about what you're going to do for them, right?
Right.
So it's knowing that. So explaining all the things you're going to do for them in a very fluid, confident manner, that's gonna bang. And then come up. Okay, so I'll give you like one of my good lines, DJ. Right? So I like to think outside of the box all the time. So I'll tell you, because you asked me to give some takeaways, right? So I'll give you a couple takeaways. So for me, one of the closest I always do is I say, Mr. Seller, I want you to have the same amount of confidence in me as I have in myself, that I am the best real estate agent. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about everything that I'm going to do for you, because really the job of a realtor is to maximize the exposure of the home, to get as many people as possible to become aware of your home, to truly maximize the exposure of your property, then get those people excited, screen them, vet them, show it properly, and then get them to make the commitment to buy your home. That's the job of a realtor. I shake my head, yes. And they get kind of excited about that. Then I say, now I'm going to tell you how I'm going to expose your home to not only real estate agents, but to the general public. And then at the end of the day, you have to choose the realtor that you think is the best one at exposure and, of course, salesmanship. Now, if you say things like that, the way that I just said it, with confidence, fluid, and power, it's pretty hard to beat that, right? Versus, oh, let's talk about comps. I
Right.
always push comps to the end. Talk about
And
comps to the end.
you know what I love too is you're meeting the client. You're really focusing on what the client's experience of actually choosing a realtor is. You're doing something actually quite brilliant, because you're saying, hey, Mr. Seller, you're going through this process right now. So I am now on the same side of the table as you, because I am repeating back the process you're going through as you're evaluating different realtors. And here's what I'm going to do for you. And I understand this is a tough thing for you to figure out who you want to end up using. Here's what I'm going to do for you. It's a subtle little thing that you added in there that was brilliant, because it puts you on the same side of the table as them. You're like, yeah, I get it. You're interviewing people. Here's what I'm going to do, and here's what how to make the best decision. I love that. That was subtle but
Thanks.
brilliant.
Thanks, DJ. I also say, like, listen, I appreciate the opportunity to interview for the job of working for you. I never
Yeah,
say working with you. I cringe when realtors say that all the time. Oh, I'm so excited to work with you, and but it's not the case. They're
right.
hiring us to do a job, to work for them to sell their home. So I say that, put my ego aside. I say, Mr. Seller, and I say it all the time. Thanks again for the opportunity to interview for the job, to work for you. Thanks for the opportunity. It'd be an honor to work for you. And I say that because I still think human nature is people like to hear that. They like to hear it because it's the truth, especially people that aren't a boss. They like to hear that they're hiring somebody and they are the boss. So I'll even one of the lines that I say, this is pretty good because I use this all the time. I think a lot of realtors can take this line alone and say, I say, Mr. Seller, kind of like an agent for an athlete. An agent's job for an athlete is to not only negotiate the contracts, but to get their clients that off the field money. Athletes love that Pizza Hut money. They want that shoe deal. They want all that. So a real sports agent is going to be on the phone all day promoting their clients to get them that off the field thing. It's the same with me. I'm a real estate agent. The difference is I'm on the phone all day promoting my star, which is your house. Your house is my star. So a good real estate agent is like a good sports agent or a good movie agent. We're behind the scenes and we're promoting our stars, which is your house. So your house will be my star. And I'm going to spend all day, every day that I can to promote your home to get people excited about your home. That, again, if you say that properly, is a very powerful listing line, not line, but fact, but it's a powerful and relatable thing for a seller to hear.
You're absolutely right. Everybody wants a concierge experience as a consumer, right? We want the top level, high uh, white glove experience as a consumer. But we don't often get that unless we happen to be, wealthy enough to have some of those experiences. But everybody wants the experience, whether they ever get to have them or not. And what you're really doing is you're bringing that top shelf white glove service to all of your clients, and you're treating them all as equal, but you're treating them all as if they are the most important client in the room, or in your which of course they need to be for to or need to feel that way about you. And I think that is a really really smart way, is to make sure that that your seller is actually what their needs are emotionally, so that you can be there to support them.
Yeah, that's a good point too. That's strong. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Um, in the interview, real estate's very competitive. DJ, there's more realtors than there are listings. I think the last stat I heard, there's twice as many realtors as there are real estate agents. So it's
Yeah.
incredibly competitive. So the better skill set you have of being able to walk into a room and interview against two or three other realtors, someone's going to get that listing. Someone's going to get paid. So the more powerful your presentation is going to be, the better you're going to win. For example, I never talk about price until the end. When I first started, I was trained to talk about price in the beginning by a big trainer. And he says, if you can't agree on the price, get out of there. You have more listings to do. You have more phone calls to make. You have more prospecting to do. So if you can't agree on the price, if you have an illogical seller, get out. Well, then what would happen is I would see that I did that. So I would go and talk about price, couldn't come to an agreement on the price, and I'd leave. And then I'd see that property actually come on the market at a right price. And I questioned myself. I said,
Right.
how come I didn't price? And then I realized I wasn't giving them any reason to listen to me, to
Yeah.
believe in me. So I switched. So now I give my powerful listing presentation always before I talk about the price. I want to establish the credibility, DJ. I want them to go. My goal on every listing interview is to not to have them want to hire me, but to have them need to hire me to accomplish their goals, or at least believe they need me. They need a guy like me to maximize the exposure and to get their home sold for their money. Once I could get that and I could see it in their eyes, I could hear it in their voice, I got them. This is mine. Then they're going to listen to me better and respect my valuation of the price of their home. They're going to respect my opinion once they trust me. And the way to earn that trust is by delivering a great presentation.
And you've
How,
done your
how we
home.
doing, DJ? How we doing,
You're
man? Are we doing all right?
amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Doing amazing, by the way,
Oh,
because my mind is just being flooded, because there's so many realtors that will show up to a listing presentation, and you know maybe they don't feel that there's a lot of competition. Maybe there isn't competition in this particular listing presentation, so they'll say things like, well, okay, what price point do you want, Mr. and Mrs. Seller? Okay, well, we want to sell it at X. Okay, well, we can try it at X and let's see what happens. You don't go in that way. You go in with, you've done your homework, you know the price point you want, and you're not really worried about the price, because you are the expert. You need to first defend and impress upon them what all of the accrued all of the sort of reasons why they should trust you. The price is going to work itself out once they trust you, because your whole mission is so that's really really smart. Is prices at the very very end. I love that. I think
Yeah.
that is brilliant.
Yep. It's the truth. In fact, if I'm not even have to compete with another realtor, so if a seller says, "Hey, Jordan, we're not even interviewing anybody else. You're the number one guy in the county. Obviously you're the top guy in our area. You're a good referral. All our friends have said you're great. All this kind of stuff. You don't even have to interview. We just want to come and basically come list me, right?" I got to tell you, DJ, I still do my presentation. It's a 30-minute investment for me to be able to have them respect what we do as realtors. We work our asses off, right? And we invest money. Notice I didn't say spend money, invest money. We invest time, money, passion, and energy to properly expose a home and get a home sold. So I want them to know that, because I know I'm going to have more control of the escrow. I'm going to have more control in the inspection process. I'm going to have more control in the pricing. So I still want them to go, wow, I didn't realize you were going to do this, that, and the other to work, to benefit me and the ability to sell my home. So thank you. So I give my presentation always, even if I don't
I,
have to, I give it. I
I
know a lot
think
of realtors are hearing this going, why would you do that? Why would you spend 30 minutes? I just explained why, because it helps you earn their respect even more.
and it's professional, and we're in a professional environment, and even if it's your best friend who's going to be your client, treat him like a white glove look. If I walk into, let's just say, like the Waldorf Astoria, which I once in a blue moon I get to go to a place like that, it's a different experience than walking into a lower priced hotel, right? There is an experiential component to this that that top places have. Jordan has that, and he applies it to all of his clients. And that is absolutely brilliant because, of course, going back to our earlier point, everybody wants to feel special and important. Actually treat them as if they are, because no, guess what? They are. They actually are important.
I love the fact that you just said the word professional. I ask myself that. I could ask my assistants every day. I say, is this professional? Does this look professional? I don't put my picture on anything. DJ, I don't put my picture on ads. I don't put my picture on my signs. I don't put my picture on anything, because I always say to myself, when the day comes that lawyers start doing that, or doctors start putting their picture on their cards and things like that, I get some do, then I want to do that. I want to build my brand as professional, classy as I can. So that's amazing. He says, so I try to be as professional as I can, clean lines, everything clean, and versus like, you're never going to see a picture of me holding my dog in real estate advertising or pretending like I'm on the phone. Nothing that just kind of looks, to me, doesn't look as professional. It's just a classy look. So
Well,
I like to try to think I'm professional.
and everyone knows by now how inauthentic it is when you drive, down, in your case, you're driving down PCH or whatever, and there's a billboard with a lawyer with his sleeve rolled up, going, "I'm going to fight for you," and he's showing you his bicep, and you're like, "Yeah, okay, we get it,
Yeah,
we understand." I want to see you in the suit though when he gets into the courtroom.
yeah.
But let's talk about, we're so quick to shoe old ideas for how to, old sales ideas, old marketing ideas. And I love the fact that you have actually taken some old techniques and actually made them not new again, but made them important again. And we're talking about fundamentals. So I'd love to hear how you've taken some older ideas and made them into sort of cutting edge strategies.
Oh, 100%. DJ, that's exactly what I do, man. I take time tested stuff that has worked for decades and decades and decades. I just explain it better, and I like to think that I use it better and I elevate it. So, for example, that's a great question, man. Just listed, right? So every realtor will do a just listed, right? It helps build your geographical farm and all that kind of stuff. But how do you explain those on a listing presentation? So I'll tell you what I do. So first of all, I elevate it. So the way I got established in my farm, and I continue to stay ahead of the curve in my marketing area, even though I compete against great realtors, I stay ahead. I do it bigger and better. I do different shapes, different sizes, better quality card stock. But then it's the way I explain it on a listing presentation. So I'll say to a seller, I say, Mr. Seller, so the job of a realtor is to maximize the exposure. We need to cast a wide net. So in order to cast a wide net, I'm going to blow it up with print. I'm going to blow it up with social media. I'm going to blow it up with email blasts and all the other good stuff that I do to blow it up internationally and nationally. However, sometimes the buyer's going to come from just dropping the line in the water. And the way I'm going to do that is these epic, elevated, just listed brochures. Notice I don't say postcards because it's not just a cheap postcard that someone's going to throw away. I like to invest in elevating it. So hopefully, a buyer that isn't online all day, every day searching Zillow for a home actually lives in your area or one of my other that's also on my mail list that isn't on the computer all day every day, just swiping through Zillow. But they've always said, if the right house, if that single story home with the pool and the view, which is what you have, Mr. Seller, comes across my desk or in my mailbox, I'm open to making that move. So what I want to do is I want to mail these incredible brochures to past clients, sports agents, business managers, relocation companies, and all your neighbors so they can open it up, not throw it away so quick, and say, man, honey, we love this neighborhood, or our friends want to move in this neighborhood. Isn't this the exact house that we would want to buy? But they're not on Zillow all day, every day. They open up their mail and they see something beautiful like this, and I can show it to a seller. I can hand it to them. It's something that he can see, feel, touch, and appreciate. Don't you think there's a small chance, any chance, that there's a buyer that lives right around the corner from you that'd be interested in your single story pool with a view home? And they say, yeah. And I say, so it's my job, the job of a realtor, is to bring your home to them, not just hope that they find your home. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring your home to people. So that's an old trick, the old listing just listed. But if you do them right, you elevate it and you explain them in a listing interview, you're going to win. You're going to sound like an expert. What I say makes sense. There's some side benefits to it, building your geographical farm, just representing the homes well, representing yourself well, representing your industry and your business classy. But in reality, I sell homes every year as a direct result of those alone. We're cooking
Boy,
here,
God,
TJ. We're
you
cooking,
just said
man.
you said so much there. I'm so impressed. I think there's a lot of our listeners that look, guys, this isn't a criticism of anyone listening. I'm certainly I could fall prey to this as well. But let's remember, when we get a listing, it's not enough just to drop it onto the MLS and let it syndicate out all over online and hope that someone stumbles across it. What Jordan is talking about is going, oh yeah, no, I'm going to do that, but that's just like maybe maybe step one, and then I've got 25 other steps that I'm going to do to continue to cast a net and shoot this out to neighbors. I know which neighborhoods feed into this neighborhood. I know where the people who want to live here now, where they're currently living. I am going to send them a postcard to tell them about this
Not a
property for
postcard,
sale.
a,
Or
a,
sorry.
a
There we
mailing
go.
brochure,
A a
like
a
a
luxury
really,
brochure.
yeah, it's an investment, not a giant, even though some might do that, but it's something that's not so easy to throw away. But
No, no,
what you're
my
doing is you're building your name as well
total.
as trying to sell the home. But even more than that, it's a hell of a listing tool. If
it,
you use them
it's
properly
amazing.
and
It,
you
it is.
say what I say, you will win listings just that way alone. That's just
Guys,
one of my tools.
the book is The Agent's Edge: Secret Strategies to Win Listings and Make Your Fortune Selling Real Estate. Available everywhere books are sold. We'll have a link to it in the show notes. Jordan, you are absolutely right. But this idea of when you get a listing, everyone listening, you have to go out and find the buyers and you have to tell the seller how you are going to do that. And Jordan is the king of doing that. He just
Oh man,
basically
thank you.
explained it here. You are the king of that.
Oh,
And
thanks.
and really, think about how powerful that is. Most realtors don't really do that. They'll say, well, we'll put it online and it'll get distributed and every realtor will see it and they'll tell their clients. What Jordan does is he goes, I know exactly where people who move, who want to live in this, I know where they live now. And I'm going to make sure that they know that this place is available for sale. He did his homework. He knows his market. He is the king of his market because he knows where people want to live. And he goes out and says, hey, the reason why he wins listings and he's the number one Remax guy in the world is he has has a solution to all of the issues that may come up during a listing. He's like, don't worry, I know where the people that are going to buy this place probably live right now. I'm going to go over to them and make sure they know about it. Like, brilliant. That is a brilliant strategy for any homeowner. That's all a homeowner wants to hear is, where are you going to find the buyer? And most listing agents go, well, we'll put it up. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, man. DJ, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for saying all that great stuff, man. It's truly, truly appreciated. In fact, I'm kind of the anti-internet. So what I say is, I say, Mr. Seller, of course you're going to be on Zillow. Of course you're going to be on Realtor.com and Trulia. Those are automatic pulls. There's no question about it. In fact, I buy the upgraded packages because, yeah, the internet is a great way to market and sell their home. But we only have 30 to 45 to an hour here for me to convince you that I am the best. And the way I'm going to do that is tell you everything I do above and beyond the internet, and above and beyond and better than the internet. But please know, of course, you're going to be on Zillow with me as you would be with any other realtor. I just want you to appreciate even more that I'm going to do to try to land that buyer. And then I go through my series of marketing tools. And Just List is just one of them. Of course, I got many more that I talk about in the book for sure.
It's incredible. It's really treating this. I get very excited talking to you because you take this very seriously. You have you are prepared. This, you don't wing. This is a performance. It is important, right? When you
Very
meet with a
scientific to
client,
me. Yeah, it's
of
very scientific to me, man.
of
Yep.
course it is, and it is so impressive. I love hearing, and it's so funny because this is how we distinguish people who are, professionals from non-professionals in this industry, and people who are successful tend to be very methodical, and it is mostly about, thinking 3 to 4 steps ahead, like, this idea of coming, you already know the price point, I'm sure, that you think is best. You're going to take that at the very, very end, after you've already built so much rapport and so much, you've impressed upon them so much of your knowledge that they are now bought into you. It's that they're buying into your philosophy, and from there, then you can kind of steer the ship. Do I have that right?
Yeah, totally. Totally get it. Yeah, absolutely. It's very methodical. That was a great word that you said. And for sure. And again, this is just like one part of the book, right? It's the listing presentation. I dive into how to turn open houses into listing opportunities, not just to pick up buyers, how to get listing interviews from I talk a lot about pricing, how to properly price, so what language to use to try to control that aspect of or not control is not necessarily the word, but to earn the respect when it comes to pricing. I like to think and how to protect your commission. That's something I'm very proud of, is how I present my full commission. I'm proud to say that I am a full commission agent. I earn that. And it's what I say, that how to go about that is in the book. I'm
I,
proud of that too.
I love it. What prompted you to want to write a book and give this information out to other agents?
It's a great question, man. I was selling a home to an agent from CAA, so Creative Artists Agency.
Yeah.
He's a big moving agent, and I sold him a home in my area that I work, called North Ranch area of Westlake Village, and I sold him a home there, and then I listed his home in the Hollywood Hills, and he goes, "Hey, man, you're so good at this. You ought to write a book. You ever thought about that?" And I go, "Man, thank you." I go, "I actually have. I thought about writing. I've been doing this for 33 years, DJ. I'm at the point of my career where I actually like, helping other realtors. It's not a corny thing. It's just I dig it. Like I reply to every DM and email and call. If I could help somebody make more money, it's a good thing, and I feel good about that. So I actually said, I've been thinking about that. He goes, "Can I connect you with one of our literary agents?" And I go, "Oh man, are you kidding me?" Of course. So I did a Zoom with a literary agent named Anthony with CAA, and then he asked if he loved. We got along beautifully, and he said, "Man, I love this idea of this book. It's a business book, how to sell real estate." Remember, DJ, this isn't a motivation book. I don't tell anybody to drink juice, exercise, or a vision board. It's not an energy book, none of that kind of stuff. This is a how to sell real estate book for real estate agents. So he said, "We'd love to represent you." That was a win beyond, DJ. I couldn't wait to tell my wife that I go, "Wait a minute, you telling me I have an agent?" Because man, I'm a realtor. I've never been on that side
You work
of the
with
table.
agents.
Yeah, man, I've never been on that side of the table. So he said, "Absolutely." So I got excited, and then you write a treatment of what the book would look like. So I did that, and that took me a long time because I wanted to be really good. And then the agent took that and he put it out to all the publishers. I had multiple offers, and I signed with HarperCollins Leadership because I just loved, Tim and Cicely, who are the HarperCollins team, the leadership team, and then we took it from there. Then I had a great collaborator to help me put this in paper named Mark Tabb, and we wrote a phenomenal book that I'm very proud of. And the review, by the way, today is a very special day, DJ. Today is launch day. So all the people that have been pre-ordering it, and there's been thousands of them over the past few months, received their books today. So I'm already getting some amazing reviews, and it's a very, very proud moment for me. It's June 6th, and I'm very grateful and humbled by all the great reviews. So that's how the book
Well,
came about, and I wrote it, and I'm proud of it.
Well, the book is called Agent's Edge: Secret Strategies to Win Listings and Make Your Fortune Selling Real Estate. And it is available literally everywhere that books are sold: Amazon, of course, Barnes and Noble, Target, online, of course, everywhere. Walmart is too. So please, everyone go out and get their book. We'll have a link to the Amazon store for the book right in our show notes. One last question, Jordan, for you, just out of curiosity. Um, What's the most satisfying part of being a realtor for you? Obviously, you do this. You've worked on the smallest of starter homes to palatial estates. What is it that what do you enjoy the most about being a realtor?
All right, DJ, you want the truth or you want the corny bullshit answer,
I want
man?
the
If
truth.
I want the truth, the best part is going to the bank after it closes, man, and being done and putting that money in the bank. That's the best part, man. Listen, I've been doing this a long time. I just want to save as much money as I can so someday I can slow myself down. I love moving people. I love having you know, happy buyers and happy sellers and watching people accomplish their goals. I love it. But for me personally, the best part is when the deal closes and I get paid. And I hope a lot of realtors that are listening to this go, man, I'm glad he said that because I think we're all in agreement. It's very easy for a realtor to say, oh, I don't care at all about that. I just want to make people happy. Well, that's fine and dandy, but at the end of the day, we got a job to do, man, and I want to do as well as I can, man. So that's my happy moment is when it closes and I get to congratulate people and get that check. That's the happiest moment for me. That's the truth.
That
Oh,
of course for
I'm losing you, DJ. I'm losing you. You're cutting out a little bit. Say that one more
sorry
time.
guys. Yeah, I'm sorry. I love that, Jordan. Thank you. I know we're having some technical difficulties. We'll get that worked out. Sorry about that. So sorry about that, but that is absolutely a great
Ah, dang. I can't hear you at all. You
thing.
froze.
Let's see, Jordan, if I can get better. Hang on one sec. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. Coming
Um,
in clear
but
now. Now I got you.
it's a little bit better now.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Okay, sorry. I don't know what's going on here. Um, that was awesome, and I love that, and I appreciate that, and of course that's the best part is going, getting paid and going to the bank, and it's something that we shouldn't pretend is not the like a lot of times people will say everything but that. Right, they'll
Yeah,
say, oh, it's about helping people, and of course it is that too,
of
but we
course.
don't tend to celebrate the financial part of it, and why are we in this business if we don't want to celebrate the financial part of
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
So
I mean, I really love when people close and closing a big one today, and I'm excited about that. Closing a big one today. Not the name drop, but I don't mind name dropping for Brett Michaels. From Poison, man.
of
My boy
course,
Brett.
sure.
I love. I get to represent him on a ton of deals. I love him. Every deal, and with that guy, it's all about good karma, right? So I'm closing
Yeah.
a good karma deal today, and it's very exciting for me. So, man, I love to see him happy. I love to see the buyer of his home happy. I love everybody to be happy. But I'm going to be the happiest when I go to the bank at the end of the day and make my deposit. There's no
Well, you
question
can
about
you can
it.
rock a red bandana to the
Yeah.
closing, as Brett is known to do.
There you go.
That's amazing, amazing. Jordan Cohen, his new book is called "The Agent's Edge: Secret Strategies to Win Listings and Making Your Fortune Selling Real Estate." Number one agent and Remax worldwide, 300 million plus per year. Guys, how big is this team? Just him. Literally just him.
Me
It's
and I
it's
got
it's
2 assistants that handle all
two
the
assistants.
paperwork, but yeah, I'm the only one selling. Yep.
It's almost laughable. It's so ridiculous because
Oh,
he's that
thanks, man.
it's laughable in like, oh my god, somebody actually does this, and he does. He's incredible. Jordan Cohen is his name. Guys, if you want to learn how to increase your GCI, and of course you do, which is why you're listening to our show, you're gonna need his book. Jordan Cohen, The Agent's Edge. Super nice guy, really fun.
Thank
He's
you,
gonna
man.
actually tell you how to do things, not just why, the how. That's the part that we need to get back to. The hows, the strategies. He's got them and they're clearly working for him. And HarperCollins is an awesome publisher. So we wish Jordan the very, very best. Everyone go out and pick up his book. You can find it anywhere books are sold, but also check out what Jordan is up to. By the way, guys, he is also one of the most followed realtors and social media. If you go to his Instagram, he's got over 500,000 followers. He's incredible. So follow him on Instagram, Jordan Cohen one, and that's I only looked at Instagram. I'm sure you're on all the other platforms too. You
No,
can
just
get to
that. I got Facebook for that, and a little bit
just
on
that one, huh?
Twitter. And Twitter at
Well,
Jordan Cohen 21. But I like that. I really I'm not on TikTok yet, but I really love Instagram.
that's
It's
yeah,
an
that's the
amazing.
next frontier for you, I think. But yeah, he's on Instagram and Twitter. Links to those both on his website, jordancohen.com. And it's a really cool website, by the way, too. So that's
Thank you,
another
man.
great for agents looking for inspiration for how to create a great agent website. That's a really fantastic example. So everyone go out and pick up the book. And we will, on behalf of our audience, we want to thank Jordan for coming on our show, giving us these amazing tips and tricks to help win more listings and just have a better 2023 and also increase the professionalism of the industry. I love it. Jordan's at the forefront of that. Also, on behalf of Jordan and myself, we want to thank our audience for making it all the way to the end of the show. Want to thank our sponsors as well. So we want to thank everyone involved with helping us put this show together. So thank you, everyone. Jordan, thank you. We will see everybody on the next episode. Jordan, thanks so much.
From the bottom of my heart, DJ, thank you for having me. You have an incredible show. You're an incredible guy, and it's truly, truly my pleasure and an honor to be on your show. And I'm forever grateful. Thank you.